Welcome to MacroPulseBusiness. I'm going to share something with you today that most financial educators completely overlook, and it may be the single most important insight of your financial life. A wealth transfer is happening right now, not in the stock market, not in real estate, inside people. And the researchers who study this phenomenon have documented something extraordinary. The ones who benefit most from this transfer are not the ones with the most capital, the best education, or the most connections. They are the ones who did the inner work first. Today, we're breaking down 7 research-backed principles drawn from Harvard Business Review, Stanford, UC Davis, and the organizational psychology work of Adam Grant. These are not motivational platitudes. They are documented patterns, the DNA of every major financial transformation we've seen across industries and cultures. Stay with me through all 7, because Principle 7 is the one that actually activates everything else. Let's begin. Let me describe the pattern I've seen again and again. Someone increases their income and immediately increases their lifestyle. They consume more information about money, but take no action. Their motivation spikes after watching a video like this one and then fades within a week. They build external wealth, while their internal narrative about money remains one of scarcity and fear. They optimize for status, not for sustainability. This is the common cycle, and it keeps highly intelligent, hardworking people financially stagnant for years. The research is clear about what breaks this cycle. It is not a better investment strategy. It is not a new income stream. It is a shift in the internal architecture, the beliefs, the behaviors, and the environment that shape every financial decision you make. The 7 principles we're covering today are that shift. They are the framework that moves someone from chasing wealth to being chosen by it, from performing prosperity to building legacy. Let's establish the foundation with Principle 1. Principle 1. Money is a neutral amplifier. This is perhaps the most important reframe in all of personal finance. Money is not inherently good or evil. It does not have a moral character. It is a tool, and like any tool, it amplifies what the user already brings to it. Warren Buffett has said this in his own way for decades. Money reveals character. It does not build it. This means that every financial strategy you apply, every investment, every business decision, every wealth building system, will be filtered through who you actually are at your core. Not who you aspire to be, not who you perform being for others, but who you genuinely are when no one is watching and the pressure is real. Fear-driven wealth leads to greed amplified, isolation, hoarding, and eventual collapse. Purpose-driven wealth leads to generosity amplified, trust compounded, legacy built, and impact that outlasts the builder. The most critical investment you will ever make is not in a stock or a property. It is in the person who will manage everything else. Start there. Now, let's look at the data. 3 independent studies have documented the connection between inner character and outer financial performance. Harvard Business Review's 2023 meta-study tracked 60 companies across 10 years. After controlling for IQ, industry experience, and access to capital, one variable consistently predicted which leaders produced sustainable wealth. Integrity-driven decision-makers, those who made ethical choices even when it was costly, produced 5 times more sustainable financial returns than their peers. Not 5% more, 5 times. UC Davis published research in the Journal of Positive Psychology showing that a consistent gratitude practice, something as simple as acknowledging 3 things each day, increased creative problem-solving capacity by 20%. In financial terms, that means more income opportunities recognized, more innovative solutions generated, more doors perceived as open. And Adam Grant's organizational research across multiple industries documented something that contradicts everything we've been told about competition. 75% of the highest earning professionals were identified as givers, people who add value before expecting anything in return. And those givers outperformed their more self-focused peers by 3 times over a 5-year period. The data is overwhelming. Character is the highest yielding asset class available to you. Principle 2. The 4 signs of wealth alignment. There are 4 specific signals that appear in your life just before a major financial breakthrough. Most people interpret these signals incorrectly and miss the window. Here's what they actually mean. The first sign is divine restlessness. This is not depression. This is not greed. This is a deep, persistent dissatisfaction with your current level. Your soul recognizes that you were built for more than this moment is offering. When this feeling arrives, do not suppress it. Study it. It is a call to expand. The second sign is unexpected doors. Ideas arrive on no schedule you planned. Connections appear from nowhere. Opportunities present themselves at strange hours. This is not coincidence. This is alignment beginning to surface in your external world. The third sign is thought collapse. Old beliefs about money begin to dissolve. The guilt about wanting financial abundance? Gone. The fear that success corrupts? challenged. The stories that kept you playing small, no longer convincing. This cognitive shift is a prerequisite for the next level. The fourth sign is intensified resistance. Opposition peaks immediately before breakthrough. If pressure is mounting in your life right now, take note. In spiritual and psychological research, this pattern repeats consistently. The deepest resistance signals proximity to significant positive change. Financial alignment is not mystical. It is a psychological state, one where your beliefs, your behaviors, and your environment become congruent with your financial goals. Psychologists who study this describe it through 3 distinct layers. The belief layer is your internal narrative about money. If you unconsciously believe wealth is dangerous, that rich people are corrupt, or that you're not the kind of person who accumulates resources, you will sabotage your own efforts, often without knowing it. Belief reprogramming is not optional. It is the prerequisite. The behavior layer is your daily habits, not the dramatic once-in-a-year decisions, the daily practice of managing what you already have, the regular discipline of adding value before expecting return, the consistent choice of integrity when a shortcut is available. These behaviors signal readiness, and they compound over time in exactly the way that capital does. The environment layer is the people, inputs, and systems around you. Research consistently shows that income is strongly correlated with the average of your 5 closest relationships. The media you consume, the conversations you have, the standards set by your peer group, all of these shape your financial reality more than most people are willing to acknowledge. Alignment is the work of bringing all 3 layers into coherence. It is the most important work you will ever do. Principle 3. Stewardship before overflow. There is a principle that runs through virtually every major wealth tradition in history, and it is validated by modern organizational psychology. You will only be trusted with more when you demonstrate mastery of what you already have. Stewardship means treating your current $100 with the same precision and intentionality you would apply to $1 million. Most people do the opposite. They treat small money carelessly, telling themselves it doesn't matter at this scale. That mindset is exactly why the scale never changes. There are 3 dimensions to stewardship. The first is to manage. Every dollar you currently have, account for it, allocate it deliberately, and eliminate leakage without apology. Financial precision at small scale is training your mind and your habits for large scale. The second is to serve. Add value to others before expecting return. Not as charity, as strategy. Adam Grant's research showed that givers who serve intelligently, not self-sacrificially, consistently reach the top of their industries. The third is to operate with integrity. Make the ethical decision when no one is watching and the shortcut is available. Harvard Business Review's data shows that integrity-driven leaders produce 5 times more sustainable financial returns. Character compounds. Start compounding yours today. Principle 4. The 4 seasons of wealth. Every significant wealth transformation follows a predictable 4-phase cycle. Understanding which season you are in right now changes everything, because the right action in the wrong season produces the wrong result. Season 1 is scarcity. This is the building phase. Loss, hardship, and isolation are the raw materials here. But this season is not punishment. It is preparation. Empathy is forged in scarcity. Resilience is developed through difficulty. The foundation of sustainable wealth is almost always poured in a season of limitation. Season 2 is pruning. Old patterns that served you at a lower level must be stripped away before you can move to the next. Limiting beliefs collapse. Fear-based habits dissolve. This season is uncomfortable because growth always requires the release of what you were. Embrace it. Season 3 is alignment. Ideas arrive. Connections appear. Opportunities surface at the right moment. This is not luck. This is the result of the inner work done in seasons 1 and 2. The person who survived scarcity and survived pruning is now positioned to receive what was always available. Season 4 is overflow. Resources flow. Legacy begins. You become not just a receiver of wealth, but a conduit for it. The wealth that reaches you in this season is designed to pass through you, into people, projects, and futures beyond your own lifetime. Principle 5. Serve to overflow. This principle contains the most counterintuitive finding in all of wealth research, and Adam Grant has the data to prove it. In his research spanning multiple industries and career levels, Grant identified 3 types of people. Givers, who add value first. Matchers, who give only when they receive. And takers, who prioritize their own gain above all else. Here is what the data shows. The people at the very bottom of the career success ladder, the ones who are being used and burned out, are givers who give without boundaries and sacrifice themselves. But the people at the very top, 75% of them are also givers, strategic givers, people who add value consistently, build trust generously, and create networks of genuine goodwill. These individuals outperform their taker and matcher peers by 3 times over a 5-year period. The difference between a successful giver and an unsuccessful one is not how much they give. It is whether they give from abundance or from depletion. You cannot overflow an empty cup. Self-care, strategic boundaries, and financial capacity are prerequisites for sustainable generosity. This is why stewardship comes before service at scale. You must first build enough, then give enough, so that your giving multiplies rather than diminishes you. Principle 6. Legacy versus luxury mindset. There is one question that separates those who build lasting wealth from those who simply spend it. And that question is this: what is this wealth actually for? The luxury mindset answers, what does this say about me? Wealth becomes an identity signal. It is expressed through consumption rather than creation, through status rather than sustainability. The problem with this orientation is structural. It runs out when the image fades. It serves the self and ends with the self. The legacy mindset asks a different question. What can this build beyond me? Wealth becomes an instrument, a tool for education, for healing, for building systems that outlast the builder. It is expressed through creation rather than consumption, through long-term sustainability rather than short-term status. This is not a moral judgment. It is a strategic one. Luxury thinking produces wealth that cycles through one generation. Legacy thinking produces wealth that compounds across generations. The most durable fortunes in history were built by people who understood themselves as stewards, not owners of what passed through their hands. They asked not just how to get more, but what the more was ultimately meant to accomplish. That question, answered clearly and honestly, changes the entire trajectory of a financial life. Principle 7. The 72-hour action rule. This is the activation key for everything else in this video, and it is the one principle that separates the people who are inspired from the people who are transformed. Every insight carries a window, a moment in which the energy of new understanding is high enough to overcome the inertia of old habits. Cognitive psychology research shows that this window is approximately 72 hours. After that, doubt returns. Old neural patterns reclaim the territory. The opportunity passes. Here is the framework. At 0 hours, the moment insight arrives, act immediately. Write down what you received. Send the message you've been delaying. Make the call that has been sitting in your mind for weeks. At 24 hours, build momentum. Identify the first concrete step and complete it. Research deeper. Outline a plan. Share the idea with someone whose judgment you trust. At 48 hours, signal real commitment. Invest resources, time, money, or attention into what you received. Create accountability. Tell someone what you are building and why it matters. At 72 hours, you have either crossed the threshold or you haven't. If you haven't acted, the doubt has moved in. The resistance has won this round. The window has closed. This principle is why the wealthy move fast on aligned insight. Speed is not impulsiveness. It is precision applied to the right moment. Let me bring all 7 principles together into a complete picture. The inner transformation wealth model works like this. Principle 1 establishes the foundation. Money reveals who you are. It does not change you. So the work of building character, of developing integrity and gratitude, is not separate from wealth building. It is wealth building. Principle 2 gives you the navigation system. Recognize the 4 signs of alignment when they appear. Restlessness, unexpected doors, old thinking collapsing, resistance intensifying. These are signals, not obstacles. Principle 3 gives you the daily practice. Steward what you have now with the precision you would apply to 10 times as much. Manage, serve, and operate with integrity in every transaction, regardless of size. Principle 4 places you in the cycle. Know which season you are in. Every season is necessary. Every season is temporary. The overflow season comes, but only after scarcity, pruning, and alignment. Principle 5 gives you the strategy for multiplication. Give first, give strategically, and give from abundance. The givers at the top of every industry made this their default operating mode. Principle 6 gives you the orientation. Build for legacy, not luxury. Ask what your wealth is for, and let the answer be bigger than you. And Principle 7 gives you the activation key. Act on aligned insight within 72 hours, every time without exception. The window is always shorter than you think. The wealth transfer is happening right now. And the people receiving it are not necessarily the smartest, the most credentialed, or the best connected. They are the most aligned, the most prepared, the most intentional. Here are your 5 actions, starting today. First, audit your money mindset. Write down your 3 deepest beliefs about wealth. Then ask honestly, are these beliefs serving your future or protecting your past? Second, identify your season. Are you in scarcity, pruning, alignment, or overflow right now? Name it, honor it, work within it. Third, practice daily stewardship. Track every dollar with the precision of someone who manages 10 million, because the habits you build now are the habits that will scale. Fourth, give first this week. Add real value to one person without expecting anything in return. Start the giver cycle. Let it begin to compound. And fifth, and this is the most important one today, act on one insight from this video within the next 72 hours. Not next month, not when the timing is perfect. Within 72 hours. The window is open right now. If this framework has given you clarity, subscribe to MacroPulseBusiness. Every week we bring you intelligence on wealth, business, and the principles that actually drive transformation. Simplified, verified, and actionable. Hit the bell so you never miss it. We'll see you in the next one.